Hey guys, it's Abby and I'm back with another video, and today I will be doing a book review on The Walled City by Ryan Graudin. I recently finished this. Was that thunder? I recently finished this and I absolutely loved it. I think that this one came out before Wolf by Wolf, so I haven't read Wolf by Wolf yet, and I wanted to kind of read in publication order, and this one sounded like slightly more interesting to me. So I picked it up, and what this book is about is it's not necessarily historical fiction because it is loosely based off of a real place which was called the Walled City, and it was right outside of Beijing in China, and it was a small section of the city that was blocked off, and for some reason, I can't remember all of the political and social parts of it, but for some reason everything is legal in the Walled City, so it's full of murder and drugs and brothels and prostitutes and stuff like that. And so this was a real place. I think it was around the 80s, and it was eventually torn down, and it's now a park and all of that, but this story follows three characters who are in the Walled City, and it's got different names and stuff, so it doesn't actually say Beijing and whatever the actual Walled City was called, but it is based off of that. And in the back of the book it actually has some photos of the author with like models and stuff of the Walled City. It's really cool, and what it actually looked like back when it was a real place, which I thought was really cool. I actually went back and read the author's note and looked at those pictures before I read the book because I wanted to have like backstory on it, and I looked some of it up online just because I wanted to know. But the author said she doesn't want this to be considered historical fiction because it is very much so fiction. She didn't do that much research. She made it up and she took inspiration from the Walled City. So it follows three characters, and one is a girl who is dressed up like a boy, and she is hiding in the Walled City trying to find her sister. The other person is her sister, who is in the largest and most famous brothel and prostitute ring in the Walled City, and the third person is a boy who doesn't really belong in the Walled City, and he's in there for some sort of business, and you don't really know why. And that is what this book is about. And so I went into this and immediately loved it. I love Ryan Graudin's writing. If you've read Wolf by Wolf, you know how beautiful her writing is, but I had not, so I did not know what to expect. I went into this completely blind, and I absolutely loved it. It's very beautiful and lyrical, and if you enjoy kind of like prose type writing, it's got a lot of that in here. And the boy that we follow in this book, Day, he has to be out of the Walled City in 18 days or something really bad is going to happen. We don't know at the beginning of the book, so I don't want to give away a spoiler. Obviously I know now because I've read it, but he has 18 days to get out of the Walled City, and somehow his and Jin is the girl who's dressed up like a boy trying to find her older sister, their cross paths and they end up working together, and we find out how that kind of all intertwines. And I really love the way that the story's intertwined, especially Jin and Days, because I was really worried that their relationship was going to become like love-based and that there was going to be some like wild love triangle, because there's three characters, two girls and one guy, and you know that usually happens in YA novels, but that did not happen, and I was really happy. And there was a little bit of insta-love in here, which weirded me out a bit, but it wasn't a prominent aspect. It was like the tiniest part of the entire book, so I just kind of ignored it and just read the rest of the story, because it is not primarily a love story. It is more about the politics and getting out of the Walled City, and it's just crazy to read some of the things that they did to the girls in the prostitute rings, and I know that that was kind of accurate because the author did do some research on, you know, how the brothels and the prostitute rings worked, and especially in the Brotherhood, which is like the largest drug ring in the Walled City in this novel, and they have all these prostitutes, and they have all the opium that they smoke, and they're just like evil human beings, and it was crazy the way that they depicted this, and I thought all of the characters were super dynamic, and I think it was culturally appropriate. I didn't feel like I was trying to imagine all these like white people. It was clearly taking place in China. So this book is very dark and grim, and it's not a happy book at all, and I would have finished it a lot faster than I did, but I just didn't have time. It's a very quick read. I was surprised how quick it was, but I like the way it takes place over the 18 days that Day needs. So each like section is broken into the like day 1, day 2, or like 4 days left and 10 days left and stuff like that, and I really liked that part of it because so much happened just within the 18 days, but it didn't feel rushed. It felt very well paced. I really enjoyed that part of it too. I loved how important siblings were in this book. Like that was a huge part of it, because Day Dae's reason he's in the walled city has something to do with his younger brother, and Jin is looking for Mei Yi, who is her older sister, and just the passion and the love they have for their siblings was so prominent, and it was so wonderful to see those themes in YA, because so often we focus on relationship love instead of like family love or platonic love and stuff like that. So I really loved the way that the sister dynamic was, and there were a lot of flashbacks to their previous lives and what their lives were like with their siblings, and I really liked that aspect of it too. And really strong female characters, like Jin and Mei Yi were not weak female characters. They were very dynamic, very strong, especially Jin, who was pretending to be a boy essentially for years, and I can't remember how many years she's been in the walled city, but as soon as her sister was sold and taken, she follows because her dad is abusive and a drunk, and her mom doesn't do anything about it, and so she follows to find her sister after she gets taken from their rice farm. And I just really loved their undying love for each other, and Mei Yi's perspective and how she grows just throughout the 18 days that this book takes place, from when she thinks that this is her life and this is all she's got, and then she starts to realize the potential that she might have when she comes across Dae and he shows up at her window and asking for information on the Brotherhood, and there's all of these crazy things that happen, and there's so much content, and there's a cute cat in this too, and that was one of my favorite characters, was Chima, I think was the cat's name. So cute, so adorable. I love when books incorporate pets and animals into it, and I loved that part of it too. So I highly suggest this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, and originally I was going to do 4 because I was like kind of bored in the middle, but I think that was because I stopped and had to like do finals and life and stuff and then picked it back up. So I definitely think this is a 5-star read. It makes me really want to read Wolf by Wolf because I'm interested to see how she wrote that, because I know she wrote this maybe a year or two before Wolf by Wolf, so I want to see how her writing has progressed. And also Wolf by Wolf is a way different premise than this one is, so I'm interested to see how that goes. So I just wanted to do a quick little review on it and suggest it because I know a lot of people don't talk about this particular one, but I think it is totally worth the read. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you've read this book, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it, and I will see you in my next video.